Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is one of the UK's most exciting rock bands, combining authentic lyrics with some of the catchiest riffs around. And here to talk all about their brand new album, it is my pleasure to introduce Josh from Tigress. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
All the better for chatting to you. All the better for chatting to you.
Too kind.
Well, we will talk about music and everything else, Tigress, in just a sec. But before we get to that point, I want to get to know the real you. And to do that, I need to ask the hard-hitting questions. So prepare yourself. And that is, take a deep breath. If you were a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best represents you as a person?
Oh God, best type of sandwich. Smashed avocado with baby tomatoes with a little bit of pepper.
Oh, decadent. Any particular reason or just a favourite of yours?
I just love avocado. I love it. I call it avo. My brother always is like, mate, what are you doing? Don't shorten it.
That feels like a very Australian thing to do. I feel like that's a good thing that sounds good in an Australian accent is a bit of avo, but
maybe not in maybe not here.
We'll make it work.
We're not ready for it.
We're way ahead of the game. But anyway, as much as I could talk about sandwiches for the rest of the interview, sometimes have done. But anyway, you are here to talk about your new album, Pura Vida, which at time of recording is nearly been out for a week. By the time this goes out, it would have been just over a week. But you've been sitting on this for a long time because this is your first album as under the Tigress name. You've been sitting on this for about a year and a half. Was it something like that, or is it a bit less than that?
We recorded it in February last year, beginning of February.
Oh, wow.
When, it's been a long time. It's definitely later than it should have been. But COVID was just kind of kicking. Like we started hearing about it. We recorded it up in the Hebrides, Scotland. Literally nobody there. It was like our own little isolation lockdown.
That must have been quite kind of nice.
It was amazing. I don't remember seeing any. Well, no, there was one person, a guy and his dog that we saw occasionally. But it was amazing. Studio was on the water. Seals were bobbing their head up and down.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Not in time, but it's fine. But yeah, so last February, it's been a long time, and it took a long time to get to that point in the first place. Just so happy that it's finally out because we're really proud of it.
Does it feel real? Does it feel real now that it's been about a week since it's come out?
Yeah, I think when it dropped, it was just kind of like, oh, it's dropped. It's fine. It is out, right? It's out. And so people have been really liking it. A lot of nice things have been said. So yeah, really happy.
That's great to hear. So I was reading an interview that you guys did with another publication quite recently, and Katie mentioned that a lot of the sort of the lyrical themes and approach to this album came from her time doing charity work in Costa Rica, if I remember correctly, and how it sort of changed perhaps her perspective and her priorities in life, and made her see the world in perhaps a clearer way. And so, how much of that influence sort of spread onto the instrumental side of things as you were making the album?
Do you know what? I think it's also an age thing as well. I think in previous stuff that we've done, we've kind of catered it to what we think is cool at that time. And I think we've got to the point, Katie's trip was definitely a turning point for her. And as we've got older and done what we've done, we've kind of got to the stage of, do you know what? Life's a bit short. We just do what we want to do. So yeah, I mean, it's spread across everything to do with it. The way we approached it, the way we think about it, the way we want to, come across. It's all kind of just do what we want. Like, why are we trying to cater ourselves to what's hip, and
Exactly.
it's like the album that we want to write. So I think her experience and, you know, seeing what she saw, experience what she saw there, it's all like coming up together.
I think it might have been in the same interview that you said that this is the first time you feel like you've sort of nailed what the Tigress sound is.
Yeah.
And do you think that
Yeah.
statement still rings true?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But the previous EPs, it's the process to get to here.
Yep.
You know, I think Hangman was a big song for us in the sense of, okay, this is different. This is interesting, and just develops to what you hear now. And I think some of the songs on the album you can hear in other songs from the old EPs, and it's like, oh, that's what we were trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this song was intended to be, but we had to get through that one to get to this one. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the whole. I mean, life, man. I mean, the process it's insane, and you roll with the punches, you learn, you grow. So hopefully, you know, it just keeps on going.
It's so interesting how from the listener's perspective, I feel that as well, because I've been listening to your guys' work since the Hype Theory days.
Really?
Yeah, and so sort of it's weird how it's sort of mirrored like my taste and sort of, you know, my appreciation for music as well. How sort of, you know, you're younger and you listen to sort of more of the things that, as you say, you feel like it's the stuff that is not trendy and cool for the sake of it, but you know, your taste mature, and I feel like the Tigress sound has matured as my taste has. So it's very, very surreal how it sort of works on both sides.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I appreciate that. I feel like way back, I mean, we're talking like 10, 11 years ago, maybe. It was quite bubblegum, wasn't it? And I've always liked heavy stuff. And this, yeah, God, I mean, it's been a journey, man, and it's been a journey. So it's so cool that you were listening to that stuff, though, because now you can see, hopefully, you kind of come along with us in that process. So
100%. Yeah, no, as you say, it's sort of it's not as far as to say that, you know, obviously they are two different bands, quite literally, but you can definitely hear sort of, you know, that journey throughout the music to where we've got to now. And yeah, I have to say, you know, without sort of, you know, getting too brown nosy, it is definitely my favorite album that you guys have put out so far. So
that's good. Me too.
I'll take my endorsement money in the post. It's fine.
Oh yeah, cool, I'll make sure.
But anyway, I also read it. You see, I've done my research that you've basically wrapped this album up a long time ago, been sitting on it, but that itch to create more music sort of was already there, and you guys are already sort of brainstorming stuff. So what is sort of the next thing musically that you've got planned? Is it an EP? Is it another album, or what do you think the next piece of music from Tigress will be?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know. But we're always in the headspace of we should probably write. And like Tom and Sean, we had a rehearsal the other week, and Sean was like, we should probably start really doing some writing. So it's always raring to go. Like we probably started this album after the last EP. Do you know what I mean? So it's a constant like workflow. But Tom and Sean are always coming up with riffs, little like licks here and there that sometimes turn into full songs, or blend them together. So we've probably got folders on the computer, stacked. If it was a physical, it'd be stacked of just ideas. Like Tom records voice notes on his phone. He'll be in rehearsal, like, you know, like guitarist, just always.
Yep.
And he's like, oh wait, hang on. We're trying to like do another song. Hang on. Okay. And he'll record it quickly. And it's so, yeah, it's whether it's an EP or an album, I'd probably say album because we've just done the album, but I don't know. Could be one song, could be one verse. I have no idea, but we'll, writing is always raring to go. Yeah.
That's very exciting and look forward to that. But in more concrete plans, in the next couple of months, you've got a couple of tours on the horizon. So are these the first shows that you will have played post-lockdown?
Yeah. So, well, we did one streamed show at the Camden Underworld,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which was cool, bizarre. Um, and but in terms of like with people there, yeah, first one. So it's going to be interesting because I, we've never had a break. Well, no one has, have they? Like this. So getting into the swing of things, even just getting back into rehearsal, I was like, what? Playing like holding the six. I'm like, what's going on? It takes a while to like kick back in. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be. Are you coming down?
I'm going to try to go to the London show on the first tour. I think it is the October tour. You've got the London date.
So all of our shows up until the November tour were cancelled because of Katie's injuries.
Ah, balls.
So, but there's London on that tour.
Yeah.
So that will be, get to play, man. It's going to be great. Not just in this little box.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, as much as, artists are sort of, like such as yourself have done the best they can with live stream shows and everything like that. Yeah. They're just not they're not the same. They're not the same. And yeah, I mean, is there any sort of nerves about sort of going back out there, or is it just pure excitement that you're just raring to go to get it started again?
Not really nervous. I mean, I haven't really thought about it. I like that. It's just, we're so used to playing shows. I mean, that's why you start a band in the first place.
Absolutely.
And I think, I'm 31, okay? When I was a teenager, social media didn't exist. This is going to sound like a rant. It's not a rant. Social media didn't exist.
Rant.
You started a band to play with other people on stage.
Absolutely.
And not to necessarily be an online band, right? If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But we love playing live. I love performing. I love being on stage. So just get us back and raring to go. I'll probably remember this as before the first one going, oh God, now.
Oh no, what have I done?
What happened? Yeah.
Well, the thing I think it was on one of your socials. I might have been on Katie mentioned it on Twitter that you're kind of like her hype man when you're on stage, and Yeah, I think I can't remember. I've been sort of doing the whole sort of the stalker thing just to make sure I can get some like questions ready for this, and I can't remember how far back I had to scroll back for this. But she said something like, "I look back at Josh and he's always sort of like applauding me when on the between songs or something like that." And so you're basically like the hype man or something like that. And I love that sort of idea of camaraderie within a band and everything like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's funny, man. So before Katie broke both her arms, she was, bless her, she was learning to play guitar and she was doing really well. But she'd be like, oh. So I'd be the one, she'll turn around and I'm just like, absolutely nailing it. So yeah, I mean, it's fun as well. You've got to have a relationship on stage. It's
absolutely, and
we've known each other for so long. It's fun. I nearly knocked Jack out once on stage. So, but
that doesn't make friendships. I don't know what will.
I still blame him.
What happened?
I can't remember where it was, but he came over to the kit and was like headbanging right by it, and he was hovering dangerously close to the crash cymbal, and it was on a little drum riser, so he stood on it. And me being, at the absolute professional that I am, I was like, look, I'm not going to just hit this crash because you're standing there, right? I'm going to hit the one that I recorded, right?
Yep.
So I went smash down, but he went down at the same time as the crash went up, and it splat straight in. And we was like, I'm just going to believe it. I mean, it's great, it's fine, but
that's physical comedy if I've ever seen it. But
it's his fault. So yeah.
That's the story we're going with, but yeah, I mean, one of those shows I will be there, and if we can catch up, get a drink or something like that, that'd be pretty cool.
Cool, man, come down.
But back to sort of, unfortunately, sort of, you know, looking back at the COVID times and when we couldn't go out, couldn't do anything. One of the things that a lot of us did was consume a heck of a lot more media, whether it be movies, video games, everything like that. We did a lot more of that. So with that in mind, if you could have a Tigress track featured in anything, whether it be a movie, a video game, a TV show, or anything and more, what would be your dream thing to feature one of your tracks in?
Which song?
No, what sort of thing would you want it? Okay, would you want it in?
It would probably be something like a Game of Thrones type epic battle. You know,
I can dig it.
I'm thinking a Let to Death, something like that. That'd be sick. That'd be so cool, wouldn't it?
I can see it being a great fight song. Yeah,
and if I can direct it as well, it'd be even better.
There you go. I mean, then they wouldn't have a choice. They could put the entire album on there and, like, you know,
it's not really relevant. It doesn't matter, mate.
Infinite exposure.
Yeah. Just on loop. Something like that.
It's a bold, creative choice, but I like it. It.
You've got to make it sense.
Exactly. Now, I briefly touched on this, but for the rest of 2021 and looking into 2022, what is next for you and the Tigress guys?
Try and play as many shows, I think. I feel like we're playing you've got to play catch up, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think shows and writing. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I said again, it's what a band does, isn't it? Like, hopefully play shows, can carry on being creative as well, and on to the next.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're finally back to a time when bands can be bands. So, as you say, it's just a case of playing catch up, and the things that we took for granted beforehand are kind of just like a nice novelty now. So very exciting.
It is exciting. I think. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how people, you know, react to being at a live show. But yeah, you know, you've got to roll with it, don't you?
Absolutely, and really excited to see what you guys have got coming up in the future. But until then, I have one more question for you, and it's about as stupid as the questions get, so bear with me.
I'm ready.
We are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. And don't ask me why we settled with the name Upside Down Shark. It's a very stupid name, but we're in way too deep to change it now.
Mate, that's fine. I like it. Cool.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. But with that in mind, Josh, what is your favourite shark? And it could be real, it could be fictional, it could be a shark from a movie, or it could be a shark from nature. But what would you say your favourite shark is?
Can I tell you? Could I give you a quick story?
Absolutely.
Not my favourite shark, and then one who is.
Definitely.
I went shark diving in South Africa, and we were on this. I was expecting a big boat, right, and a big cage, right. Mm-hmm. It was like a fisherman's boat, and the cage, I kid you not, was like here and here, right.
Oh my god!
I could literally hit both sides of my head if I just tilted it, and the cage was attached to the boat. Now, I get really bad motion sickness, right? So I was thinking, like, I'm feeling really ill at this point. But I was thinking, it's fine. Once I'm in the cage and I'm in the water, it's all good, right? I was in the cage, it was attached to the boat. I lost my horizon, but I was still going with the boat, right? I'm in the freezing cold water. My wetsuit is ripped, so I'm not getting any warmer. And these sharks are just pounding this cage like this, pounding, right? Now, I'm vegan, okay? I haven't had fish for quite a while. I was already feeling sick, right? And this shark whipped its tail around because they were throwing raw fish guts into the water to attract them. And I was having a pretty bleak time, you know, bobbing away. Shark is just like pounding. Whips his tail around and these fish guts go straight down into my mouth, right?
Oh my God.
It's horrendous. I mean, it was horrendous. So I don't like that shark. That shark was not...
Yeah, that's a bastard shark.
The best shark, now I can't remember the film, but Robert De Niro voices it.
Shark Tale, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. I love Robert De Niro, so he's my favourite.
They even gave him his little mole on his cheek for
I
the shark.
I know, and it almost looked like him. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was probably my least and most favourite shark.
Wow, thank you for sharing that story. That is I've asked this question to hundreds of people at this point, and I've never had someone have quite not just such a close encounter, but such a traumatic encounter with a shark.
You know
So
what?
I feel
I've never appreciated land. Like, we got back, like, I was just like, oh my god, thank you so much. I felt sick for, like, not from the gas. I got over that, but like most
yeah.
that I was still with me for 2 days.
Oh damn, that's mad. Wow. Now
But
that's an experience.
I'm not like, I'm still appreciative of the opportunity of being able to do such a wonderful thing. You know, not everyone can do it, but I probably would not do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try these things once, and it sounds like they probably had when people say they went swimming with sharks and it was this miraculous, glorious experience. They probably had a less stressful time than you. So
Yeah,
I feel like you do.
Well, this was like grey. You couldn't even see it.
Oh,
And we had weights attached to us to, like, keep us under the water, to, like, keep us weighed down, and you just have to pull yourself back up. I mean, it wasn't really thought through, but
no. Wow. Now
cool.
that's a story.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story, Josh, and thank you very much again for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, anyone's watching it, download it, buy it. Yeah,
You heard the man. Go do it.
I wouldn't take this from anyone else.